Game on, everybody! The third place decider, Sweden and Ukraine battling it out in the best of 5 series here at the Nexus contest, and Volskaya Foundry is our first map. Now the first thing that we have to determine here is, where is Volskaya Foundry? Is that in the Ukraine? Is that in Russia? I mean, somewhere in the east, right? Do you get an advantage if you have a full Russian or full Ukrainian team play on that map? Is that a thing? Do they have to play Zarya? We don't know, but we're gonna find out. So, both of the teams losing yesterday in the semifinals. We had a sick series between Sweden and Russia in particular. I mean, that fourth game was mind-blowing. That was honestly insanity. If you haven't checked that out yet, make sure that you either watch the Twitch VOD or you have to check out the YouTube VOD. One of the two, because that was an incredible series. Today it's a bit of a different story, but you can see that Ukraine took a close look at the draft pattern that we had from Russia, and they're currently doing the exact same thing. Is it going to be the Blaze ban? Oh my god, who would have thought? Are they going to first pick Hanzo? I don't know. Will they Khaldor? Probably. So yeah, in case that you missed yesterday's games, Sweden has been heavily reliant in the group stage onto Sanctification and Bunker combo, and also picked Hanzo very, very early in every single draft. So Russia targeted that very heavily in their ban and pick patterns. And since we have the first pick now for Ukraine, we can assume that if they have a decent Hanzo player, they do, then they're gonna pick Hanzo now first as well. And as I say, they won't, because Sweden has by now also realized that everybody is just picking Hanzo against them to pick it away from them, so they ban him out. Changes things a little bit. Keeps Tyrande in play, gives us the option to go for maybe Diablo. And Maiev is open too, so Maiev actually gets picked. Alright. Maiev is a first pick. We don't get to see her too often. I think this is the second time in the Nexus contest that we have Maiev in-game and not banned out. Yeah, that's what targeted bans do for you. As the teams are more familiar with each other now. Diablo and Tyrande for Sweden. Henning on his Tyrande, not on Rhaegar today. Loves to play his Rhaegar shenanigans. And Backhold on Diablo. I mean, he's been playing quite a bit of Johanna. And yeah, Tyrael obviously is go-to whenever they had the chance, but their fallback option was usually Johanna. With Tyrande, they combo Diablo now. And Arthas. Arthas is seen so much priority now on the offlane. It's honestly a lot of fun. Love having Arthas in these games. Like, he's just a monster. Walking down the back line, Frozen Tempest on, and go for gold. Arthas is doing solid work here. And well, ban patterns. So frontline can still be banned out. Could ban Johanna if they really wanted to. I'm thinking Nubarak for a second. Yep. Nubarak gets actually banned over Johanna, so Nubarak makes sense as well. If you want to have the engage with Arthas next to you, have another heavy hit point tank. So you can play Noob in that setup pretty easily. And the Nubarak Malfurion combo was played by Russia a lot. Stork definitely a beast on the bug. And Junkrat banned out as well. So in case that you, like, this is really literally text mark what you have to do against Sweden these days. You have to get rid of Tyrael and Blaze. Like, the 4 heroes that you're looking at is Tyrael, Blaze, Hanzo, and Junkrat. Those are the 4. Gia playing Junkrat whenever he can, Svamgrota on Hanzo, and then the front line, as we already talked about. So you can ban out a fair amount of those, but you always center around those 4 picks where you try to destroy those comps. Because if Sweden gets it, they just win. They just win. Leoric and Jaina picked now, meaning that we're having the burst damage behind the combo for Sweden now too. So you can get the stun lock in with Diablo. Pretty nice wall slam. Bam, overpower. Pew, Tyrande gets the stun in. Hunter's Mark and Jaina blows the target up. But Ukraine, I played quite well against France too. Actually took the first map against them in the best of 5 series. And there's Jojo and Jimmy. Johanna and Reyna. Pretty strong frontline actually for the control here. With that done, let's see what the last pick is gonna yield for the team here. I mean, Genji is still up. They actually played that Jaina and Genji style quite a few times. Not sure if that really would work here. What else have they played? Let me think about that real quickly. I think we've seen even a bit of Phoenix. I mean, Reyna was another go-to for them, but that's taken out. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Zeratul. Potentially Apocalypse with Void Prison and Ring of Frost. Could still be Lightning Breath, but I think the Ring and VP combo is pretty much set at this point. So guys, game number 1. We have Volskaya Foundry coming up. Game number 1. between Sweden and Ukraine. Game number 1, everybody. Sweden versus Ukraine. And to the left side of the map, the Swedish team with Henning on Tyrande, Gia on Zeratul today, Berghult on Diablo. We have Timeless on Leoric and Svamkarota on Jaina. And to the right side of the map, the opponent, Ukraine. We have them with Witness on Maiev. Finally, we get a Maiev actually in the game here. Valamax on Reyna. Candlelight on Arthas, Shamzik on Malfurion, and Denardo on Johanna. Time to shine, boys! And let's see who's going to take the first game in this one. Sweden was so close to make it happen against Russia, but the Russian team just playing really well. I think the one thing that really stands out to me when we talk about Russia and the performance of those teams yesterday was really their drafting. They were the first team that in the draft really started to put the pressure onto Sweden and exploited, I don't want to say weaknesses, but at least shut down a lot of the strengths that Sweden has in their playstyle. So the grand final later on between Russia and France should be really interesting, because Mena has been doing a fantastic job as the coach of the French team to help them with the drafting process. For example, once they played against the UK, he did great in drafting and allowed them to easily outplay their opponent just simply through draft patterns and through the superior team composition. But now he's going up against Russia, and that's going to make things really different because, well, the Russian team is pretty smart when it comes to drafting too. Stork at the front also, very flexible when it comes to the engage patterns. He's not only reliant on Anubarak, but has a lot more to offer in that context. So it's going to be a great grand final. But that also means that this series is very likely going to be a hype one. And already we're having the camps taken for the turrets. Now keep in mind, as we said already a few times when we were playing on this map, you want to make sure that you get those turrets as quickly as you possibly can for multiple reasons. One of the reasons is that we have then the access towards the second item at the top. In this case, it's actually Ukraine who takes it pretty easily. But what you want to achieve as well is that once you take those early, the turret camps, you can still get another turret during the first objective phase. If you take the turret camp too late, it means that you won't be able to do that and your opponent has another advantage over you. So timings on this map are highly important, and if you play in any kind of amateur league, then you definitely want to do that. Once the camp spawns, have 2 heroes there that take it and then immediately rotate towards the mid lane with a few heroes, have someone double checking if the beacon is being attacked by your opponent, and then you can decide if you want to contest it or not. But having those items in the early game is super important regardless. With that being said, level 4 for both of the teams now on the board. First objective is soon going to spawn. Sweden, of course, wants to at least get 3rd place here. They are probably pretty upset they weren't able to make it happen yesterday after they pushed Russia towards the 5th map in a fantastic series. But now at least trying to get the 3rd place. We have a bit of an advantage when it comes to items for Ukraine on the other hand. I mean, Candlelight already holds that healing beacon, so that's going to be an important one for them. Both of the teams now... needs to be a bit careful here. This is something that we have to watch out for too. For the first time in like what seems like weeks, we have a Maiev actually in game. And I mean, talking about Maiev here for a second, on level 1, Naisha's Memento being taken here right away. And outside of that, we're having on level 4 then the Blade Dance taken as well. So with the extra damage on the Phantom Knives with the AoE. And this is now the time where you can really try, especially around the second objective towards the top, to set Maiev up so that she just clumps everyone together and you get a good combo out of her. But in terms of combos, the level 10 for Sweden is pretty powerful, as we talked about during the draft, and they don't even need the combo. They just go in and they hammer Malfurion into the ground. He's dead immediately. Shamzik a little bit too far out. Timeless, on the other hand, is already low. Gets sucked in by the Condemn, but even with the punish, Johanna is not able to deliver the damage. Leo's still alive, is draining her, and that's another kill. Johanna down, double kill secured for Sweden. They are opening up map number 1 with an advantage right away. Grab level 7 and secure themselves the control point for the time being. Great start, and especially Berghult. He's just performing so well with that engage that we just saw into the backline, straight onto Shamzik. I'm really excited for a lot of these players. I mean, I talked about this previously when we saw Ukraine with Rina, with Tai and Billy. Like, they had some excellent players there. Maybe some problems with the hero pool at some point or another, but in general, really strong. And I'm really excited because I hope that some of these guys are also going to make their way into the qualifiers for Division S. of heroes launched, and that we are going to see them at some point playing in Division S2. It's actually pretty cool to have a couple of new names pop up. Or well, in most cases not really new names, but names that didn't get as much exposure yet in the past. Be it as it stand, 94% now against the 16, as we see the Ukraine moving in again. They have their own level 7 talent now. Both of the teams, of course, moving straight into the turret camp again, as mentioned before, as it came up once more. So now we're having another attempt of the Ukraine to make this happen and try and claim the first protector of the game. But Sweden is looking strong here. They push out the wave. They have double turret now that they can use. And they're already stunning out Jimmy pretty heavily in the backline and forcing Shamsik on his Malfurion to heal him up here. In comes the first turret. Berkult is looking for a target. Doesn't quite find one yet. Witness with a tether. Maiev trying to get them sucked in, especially Jaina, but the Blizzard comes through. The damage is there. Reyna moving out barely, and everybody on the side of Sweden and Ukraine is super low. Timeless going in deep for the kill, and he gets it against Jimmy, but Leoric falls too. Good trade though for Sweden. Leoric will respawn in just a few seconds, and Jimmy will have to walk the entire way back. Fantastic trade in the early game. If you can get a kill and sacrifice Leoric in the process, always worth it. Already the attempt to get the pressure in. Slow will come in any moment. Berkult again with the wall stun. They're going in for it. Here comes the skeleton swing. The mace to the face as Diablo dies. But Gia goes in with Zeratul, gets the cleave, and takes down Arthas. Where's your Lich King now? Once again, the jump onto Maiev. Oh, Witness with the Wall of the Wardens trying to move away from the damage output. Survives, taps at the fountain, and the fight is still raging on. Jaina is getting wrecked, and Witness with Maiev takes him down. Oh my god! Zeratul with a counter kill, and immediately he himself gets dropped by Johanna. 99% against 94, and the fight just doesn't stop. Level 10 is ready by now. What is happening here? The lightning breath. They go for Reyna, and Jimmy is down. Ukraine, they don't have level 10 yet. Denardo is about to fall. Berkult goes in. He wants to kill, but he doesn't get it. Candlelight is trying to protect them, and once more they're fighting. Even without level 10, they're waiting for the heroics, but they don't have them just yet. There it is, finally, level 10 abilities. But Johanna is down. Just in time. Candlelight wants to go into the point once again, but he's a moment too late, and the first protector in the hands of Sweden. What a battle over the first Punisher. 7 kills against 4. And just a full-on slugfest that we have here. Protector now moving to the top. Level 10 is here for all of them. Lightning Breath, no Apocalypse, despite the Void Prison. Gonna rely on the Void Prison into the Ring of Frost here instead. We have also for Maiev the Containment Disc again. And Sweden is just moving in, taking that fountain down to prepare for the second objective. Make that top lane as weak as they possibly can. But what a beautiful start into this game. Massive, massive fights happening between the two of them. Arthur's in the mid lane, trying to get some XP. Leoric already sitting at the bottom, rotating now too. He went into Neil Peasant on level 4. We have seen a huge variety of Leoric builds actually recently. Most of them still heavily rely on the 13-16 combo with the Wraithwalk, but outside of that we're really seeing adjustments on level 1, 4 and 7. In this case we have Hopelessness taken, Willing Vessel, my bad, the extra drain against the heavy front line from Leoric. But we've seen a lot of Ghastly Reach on that talent too. Trying to, especially on Infernal Shrines or maps that are similar in terms of objective space, attempt to get more value out of 13-16 because you can hit multiple heroes when you are going for those swings later on in the game. With that last heavy brawl that we had, we also have Arthur's nearly completing his level 4 talent already. Just 8 minutes in the game. Good wall stun again. They go for Maiev, but this time Henning actually misses the stun. Uncharacteristic for him. Berkult slowed down as the counter attempt to go for a kill is not quite successful just yet. Jaina has the ring. Zeratul has the Void Prison. Could see that attack happening pretty soon here. 13 talents now for Sweden, which means that they have a shot of going for the additional item and make the play for the Biotic Emitter. And I would be shocked to not see that. So they're slowly starting to make their way over. By now, Ominous Wraith obviously also taken, so you get that damage reduction. Really important to put that onto Maiev and Jimmy if you can. And yeah, obviously they can't fight here. Nice move with the Nature's Cure, and Witness might have been a little bit too deep for this one. Jumps out, but there's Johanna. Void Prison in the back. Where's the ring, baby? The ring, the fire breath. And there's a little song of ice and fire that Sweden is playing. But nobody dies because Tranquility keeps them in play long enough. Leoric is already down. There's the kill against Arthas. Johanna goes too. That's the double kill against the front line. Sweden, after the initial loss of Leoric, turns it around, goes in, and makes a triple a reality. Down goes Reyna. Jimmy is dead. Witness sucking in Diablo, trying to get a counter kill here, pulling him into fort range, but even that does not take Backhold down. Great play once more by Sweden. They get the combo of Void Prison into ring and also Lightning Breath, and they make them nice and crispy. Well played by Sweden. 10 kills against 5. Top lane, the focus for the time being. Both of the teams on level 13, so we will see a more or less even fight over the next objective. I guess kind of scratch that a little bit. It's not going to be all that even, because that fountain is already taken down. But if you look at the heroes, none of them holds any items because of that big fight where pretty much everything was dropped. So there's not a big item advantage or anything that's happening there. And up to the top lane now. Both of the camps are taken. The one to the top left, the one to the top right. The teams with the exchange here. But again, 13 talents already. The big problem for Ukraine is that we are on 15.5 for Sweden, meaning that we are going to see that 16 come into play eventually. So Sweden is going to be a bit hesitant to go into that fight right away. They're going to try and soak. Leo most likely going to move down to the bot lane to try and soak another wave there. Well, actually, they are nearly on 16 already. He might not even have to go there. But he still makes the rotation. Arthas is still at the bot lane too, so they don't lose anything here. They're going to give... I actually thought they would just give over the control point, but Ukraine, to be fair with you, doesn't even make the engage just yet. So they don't move in. Yeah, finally they make the play just as 16 is in the hands of their opponent. Maybe a bit late to that party. Zeratul already waiting in the shadows. He's looking for the Void Prison. 16 is there. And here we go. Big fight. Containment disc already used. Jaina is down. No ring, baby. Where's your ring now? Down she goes. There's the Lightning Breath. It's a 5 versus 4. The Ukraine have a chance to take it, despite the talent disadvantage. They go for Diablo. Void Prison in the backline. Diablo is already under trouble as Candlelight moves in. Howling Blast attempt against maybe Leo. They go for him, but he gets the reduction through the skeleton swing. Wraith walks out. Backhold with the attempt to turn it around, but he himself might actually fall as Witness once again goes deep. Gia going for Jojo, and Johanna barely survives. No, she doesn't. Gia goes back in and drops the tank. Good counter kill now by Sweden. Well done here. Another one falling though. My F dying too. And this is Sweden just doing what they do best. They take names. They go in again for Candlelight. And Arthas is down. Zeratul is currently ripping Ukraine a new one. Every single time you think they might be able to walk away from this, Gia jumps back in, gets another cleave through. And his Void Slash on 16 is of course doing work. Just looking at the damage numbers here. We have 27,000 already from Zeratul. They're also going straight for the camp again. 32k for Jaina. Svamgorta died early in the last fight, but they still pull it through. 13 kills against 6, and what a series here already. Best of 5, and we're starting things off with a great game between the two teams. Level 13, bladed armor now for Witness, and he's been definitely putting in the work here, trying to set things up. Now with level 16, we're seeing first of all imposing presence here even, and we have the Armored Assault. Besides that, as you would expect, Paint Him Red for Jim Reyna, so a little bit more sustainability for him. And we're still fighting over the top. And this is 16 versus 16 now, another chance for Ukraine. And they're going to try and look for it, but Void Prison is still ready. So is the ring. Svamgorta is a little bit low. We're moving in for Jaina once again, and there's the Ring of Frost and the Lightning Breath. Malfurion is dead. Containment didn't prevent it. Reyna is down to... They're trying to go for Svamgorta. Candlelight is trying to get that kill, but Timeless is having none of it. He drops the Entomb, and they take them apart one after another. Sweden dominant in this first game now. And they go in deep. They want more. They want my F. They can't get her, but they will take down that fort whenever they please to. They're rotating already towards the camps. Sweden is looking at a fantastic game right now. Doing a hell of a job here in game 1, and obviously at this point, the Protector is going to be in their hands easy peasy. The fort will already be eliminated, so they can move either towards the keep or they can just simply stay in the middle, take another fort, try and get the passive experience advantage that you get now after the XP changes that Blizzard put in a few months ago. 18 versus 16 in terms of levels, 19 at this point, a big lead in kills as well. And things are looking good for Sweden. Oh, missing the Entomb here. But Witness is still fine. Would have liked to drop it with a Protector. First 4 down, second 1 about to fall. And well, let's take a look at the passive experience. I mean, experience just in general is going to be super important from here on out, of course, because the level 20 is going to rule the game. And passive experience is starting to increase now with all of those forts eliminated for the blue team. Sweden in a decent spot here. Experience gain the highest on Leoric because he ran on the solo lane. Interestingly, Maiev is the one on the other side that has delivered the most so far. No structures taken out, but there, 3 forts gone. Passive experience is from here on out going to snowball very hard in favor of Sweden. I mean, just look at the levels. I have rarely seen a level 20 with the second Protector. That's actually insane. I can't remember a time when I've ever seen that. Like, we have pretty much level 20 and the second Protector is still in play. I can't remember a game on Volskaya where I have ever seen that. Like, it was always the third one when you would see this, so this is just absolutely crazy. Seriously crazy. Denardo and his boys are trying to somehow come into this, but they have to bridge a 2.5 level gap if they want to make that a reality. Candlelight goes in to soak the experience. Timeless is still crushing him with that Drain Hope. I mean, Bury Alive is now, of course, also another huge problem. And here comes the play attempt by Backhold. Can't get it through. Entomb is hitting Maiev though. Where's the ring? No ring just now. Oh, there it is. Ring is being used, but didn't actually connect the way that they wanted. And all of a sudden, the Ukraine is trying to push this in. They get the containment disc. Ooh, the 4-man Void Prison. Oh, but there's no follow-up. Well, there's the follow-up with the cleave, and that seems to be enough, right? Candlelight gets burned down, but survives for now. I can't believe that they actually survived through all of this. 4-man Void Prison. That's the moment GS just standing there and says, like, hey, I need to enjoy it while it lasts, because they're going to ban my Zeratul as soon as Game 2 starts. And yeah, I would not blame them at all. His Void Prisons were pretty sick, and that 4-man was crazy. Just imagine if Lightning Breath and also the Ring would have still been there. That would have been an easy 3-4-man kill. No problem whatsoever. As it stands, though, that turret is still up, and it's taken now. So they're going straight in for the next turret here, trying to claim it. Witness is locking it in. But when it comes to an item advantage, obviously we're having the map control in the hands of Sweden. And Sweden is going for another healing beacon now. Ukraine has to fight at some point. But to be absolutely honest with you, the farther they delay this and more they are playing around it, the more it looks like they might be able to get level 20 for themselves. Well, not if that kill happens. Jimmy in trouble. He gets drained, he gets stunned, they cleanse him, Nature's Cure, everything that they throw in, it's not enough. Jimmy is down. Ukraine fighting for a counter kill, but the healing beacon is on the ground now too. They're trying to go for the double and they drop Arthas. Arthas is dead. Witness is just slashing away on Maiev. He's doing insane work here and barely gets away, but it looks like Denardo might still fall. He has the Iron Skin and he uses it, but here comes the Hellgate from Diablo. Stops the path of retreat. Down goes the front line. 3 eliminated, and they're trying to make the play for Witness now too. They can't get him, but boy, what a game. 21 against 19, and Ukraine is just currently getting pummeled into the ground. They want 20, they're trying to get 20, but Sweden is trying to prevent this as much as they can. And now the mid lane is being opened up as well. Maiev with 51,000 damage, Jimmy with 54k, but it's just not enough. Here comes the Entomb, the stun, and the insta blow up, sacrificing even the Ring of Frost for the kill here. Better safe than sorry. No chance for Maiev to move out. Great Entomb from Timeless. Really good play by him. And they're just looking at the map, they're saying, why the hell would we bother with a Protector? We don't like robots as it stands, so let's just go straight for the core, deliver the final blow here. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is game number 1 in the hands of Sweden after a fantastic performance on Volskaya Foundry. Ukraine with a valiant effort, but at least in game number 1, it was not enough to take the victory. Game on! Sweden in the lead in the best of 5. Pretty sick first game. I mean, we had a massive amount of brawls in the early game on Volskaya Foundry, and Ukraine, they fought back hard. And to be honest, around the first Protector, it could have probably gone both ways, but now as we are heading into Battlefield of Eternity, Sweden still has the lead. So we have Blaze banned out. Question still remains, do you still ban Tyrael? Do you switch it up? Or how do you play this? Hammer, first of all, banned out. And Tyrael eliminated too. They are not risking anything. They looked at the series yesterday and are like, yeah, Russia had the right idea here. They played it well. They were successful with it too. So let's get rid of Tyrael once again. Make sure Backhold can't play him. And Hanzo, banned, or do they let him through? Witness likes to play as Maiev. She's still an option here. Maybe not as much as on other maps, but they still might play her. Or do they ban? They go for Maiev. So now the big question, will Ukraine pick Hanzo immediately as the first pick? And they should, yep. No hesitation whatsoever. It's not only because of Battlefield of Eternity. It's a great hero, of course, on the map itself. But you know that Sweden wants Hanzo. They picked Hanzo on every single map where they could pick him early on. And it's one of the main reasons why a lot of teams have now all of a sudden started to pick Hanzo very early in the draft against Sweden, because they want to take him away as a tool. Tyrande and Garrosh, both now taken. And well, with Tyrande and Garrosh already taken out of the mix, that leaves us with still Diablo at the front line. You can play Johanna, Muradin works here too. Depends a bit on how Ukraine is going to try and shape up that draft. They could still also go into a Nubanara composition, which we've seen quite often too. I mean, with Hanzo you have Cocoon, you have Arrow, you can add Malfurion still in this mix, so a Malfurion Nubarak would work. And there it is! Malfurion Nubarak. Claimed by Ukraine, so going for that engage, which immediately brings us to Arthur's. I mean, there's other tanks that or other offlaners that you can definitely play. Blaze is banned out, and there's of course other options that you can go for, but we have seen Arthur's rise and rise in priority throughout all of the games in the past few weeks on the offlane, and he has delivered a lot. He offers the CC, he's very tanky. He doesn't have quite the engage, and of course mobility isn't really a strong suit, but it's a hero that you can definitely use. Maybe the ban on... Liming gets banned out. She's always great on Battlefield of Eternity. And of course she gets more value against the Nubarak because she can burn down the Cocoon with her Disintegrate pretty quickly. But with that now being said, Arthur's, are they going to take it away or are they going for something else? They could, but Arthur's with Howling Blast and walking down the backline still quite powerful. I'm pretty sure that if Sweden don't go for Arthur's themselves, there's a very good chance that Ukraine pick him here. There's Jimmy. And Jimmy and Arthur's is a fantastic combo. Slow, there we go. Slow is proccing the ace in the hole the entire time. Great start. Very solid draft. I really, really love the drafting that we had in the past couple of days. A lot of smart decisions, really also analyzing your opponent, trying to figure out what is strong for them, how do they work, how do they think. And this is a great setup. But here's the burst damage after the Nubarak engage with Malfurion, and for the offlane you could go for Urel still. You could also go, if you could go Malthael. And Leo it is. Oh, I shall suffer. Ah, let's make sure that we're cleaning house a little bit. The janitor is in the house, baby. And he's going to try and clean this up in game number 2. Alright. Last pick. We need damage. A mage, usually. But are they already taken away? I mean, you could go off Fia here, I assume. And... Sweden goes for Thrall, frontline. Okay, triple frontline right now. Trying to bully Nubarak and Leoric. And that could actually really work well, especially with Thrall if he goes into Frost Wolf Pack on 4 and Alpha Wolf on 16. I'm game. Ladies and gentlemen, Battlefield of Eternity. Let's find out which team takes it. Is Sweden going to get the 2-0 lead, or will Ukraine bring it back? Game number 2. Sweden against the Ukraine. The third place decider match. The best of 5 at the Nexus contest. And to the left of the map of Battlefield of Eternity, we have Henning on Tyrande for Sweden. Svamkarotta on Thrall. Don't mix him up with Miss Musla. Arthur's. Played by Timeless, Bakulo on Garrosh, and Gia on Reyna. And to the right side of the map, Ukraine with Witness on Hanzo, Valamax on Jaina, Denardo on Nuburak. We have Candlelight on Leoric and Shamzik on Malfurion. Let's get ready to roll, everybody, as this is gonna be good. Ooh, Trash Lightning being used here by Thrall even. So I guess we have to, in this case, go over Trash Lightning a little bit. So the talent is aptly named. It's pretty trash usually. But this is actually one of the maps where you can use it. There are pretty much only 2 maps where you might get value. One map is Volskaya, but the top map... Okay! Anuborakt. The bug is down, kill the cockroach, but well, as all cockroaches, he's gonna be coming back. So, Trash Lightning. Aptly named talent. Volskaya Foundry is a map where you can definitely work out, but this is the prime map where you can play with that talent, because you have so many battles here in the middle where there are no minions to soak the shots. Soaking stuff. Yeah, Hanzo is soaking damage right now, and he successfully completed that quest. Down he goes. Easy double kill. No problem whatsoever. So yeah, with that being said, if you get those stacks together, you have insane damage on your Lightning. The problem that you have with it is that you basically can never complete it. On a normal map, when you play any other, you just don't get those stacks quickly enough. Most of the... I mean, we have seen literally Thralls that in a game that lasted 20-23 minutes have never completed Crash Lightning. And it's really a problem. But if you fight in the middle of this map where there are no minions to soak those shots, it's much easier for Thrall to get those stacks in and complete the quest. So this is the map if you want to make that a reality. So that's why that setup works. But if you do that, you have to, of course, run Thrall in the 4-man, because he needs to face those 4 opponents so that he can start stacking. You can't run him at that off lane. That's why we're having Arthas in the mix now. And Arthas goes up against Leo topside. But now Swampgrotta already on 4 stacks. Again, he needs a lot more. And it's very likely that he's going to get those eventually. And then the damage is getting pretty sick. So this is going to be a problem, potentially, for Ukraine. And Ukraine already has a couple of problems, and amongst others, that's the 2 kills against them, so a lead in experience for their opponent. When it comes to talent, that also leads us into a very early level 4. And the first thing that we are seeing here is Mana Tide taken by Thrall. So very unlikely that we're going to have the adjustment on level 16 with the Alpha Wolf. If you go into Crash Lightning, you're thinking about going Thunderstorm anyways, so it's pretty much pointless to go into the quest talent on level 4. So, bit of a different style here from Thrall, but I actually like it, and on the map it can definitely work out. Top side, this is also a lane where Timeless is having a bit more trouble. Leo is pretty good with a continuous drain here. Talking Leo gets attacked right away and also unmounted, demounted. Here comes a move against him. Might have to Wraith walk out, but they're trying to turn it around. Indomitably being used by Backhold as he walks away. And in comes the Jaina Blizzard. With the Immortal now on the map. Here comes the immediate attack, and Thrall is going to try and stack here. But, well, they're getting the kills even before they can stack. Might still be a game where Thrall is not even able to complete his quest if this continues like we are seeing at this point. And yeah, things are pretty solid. But keep in mind, there is a Hanzo in the game, and Hanzo changes everything. Because with Hanzo, you can race down the Immortal very quickly. Tyranda's Hunter's Mark, on the other hand, obviously does pretty much the same. But as you can tell, the red team wins the Immortal race. Kill or no kill, it doesn't matter. Hanzo too strong. Having... Oh, that was a good throw. But Backhold might get body blocked here by Denardo. Was a good attempt. Timeless is just walking Jaina down, but he himself is a bit far out, if you ask me. And it could be the end of him too. Another big swing coming in from Leo. Denardo has to be careful. Witness is low, gets thrown in too, and that is Hanzo. Goodbye, my friend. You can shove that bow where the sun don't shine. 4 kills against 0. And Garrosh, he had enough of that little bow swinging prick and just says like, nope, can use those arrows as toothpicks. And that's what he does. So yeah, he's not the only one who is a little bit tired of Hanzo there. They play a lot of Hanzo, they know how to play against Hanzo. And Backhold is playing a pretty good Garrosh, as you can just now see. And with the Immortal 1, they are going for another kill. They go for Leo, and goodbye Candlelight. Damn, Sweden is mad. Like, that loss yesterday against Russia made them pretty angry. They want that 3rd place at least. They go in, take them down. 7 stacks by now for Thrall. The biggest problem that Swampgrotta has at this point is that the opponents die too quickly. How is he supposed to stack? Can't do that. Here comes the push. Immortal is in. Shield already lost. They're starting to go straight for it. And that is the first tower. It's going to break through the wall here. I'm not quite sure if they're going to get more than that. But they're going to try. Leo versus Arthur's at the bottom of the map. And now, all of a sudden, with level 7 talents there, they're trying to go for the engage. They try to go in deep. Witness already firing away. Dodging the wolf. Ancestral healing, of course, is in now too. Can burn them down maybe a bit quicker. And they're trying to burn the fort. And that might actually be the end of the top structure. They could be able to just like poke a little bit here. And that should be pretty... I mean, this is actually looking really good for Sweden. First game, we had a massive amount of brawls in the early game that could have gone either way. But what we're seeing right now, that is pretty much domination. And as I say it, finally a kill for them and a good kill too at the bot lane. So some experience point missed. They go straight for this one. They already know that top side, they can't save the fort. I mean, let's face it, this is a goner. So he's down already. And with that being said, we have at least some bottom lane pressure. Sweden needs to rotate someone down, unless they want to make a play for keep or keep wall, and I doubt that they're going to go that deep. And down to the bottom of the map, we have now Ghastly Reach as well for Leoric. And they're moving back just as Bergholt moves in. Jaina! Yeah, Jaina needs to be careful. Bergholt really wanted to go for it. Great Indomitable just as Anubarak engages and he's able to throw Hanzo in. Witness jumps out, but barely. The coordination of Sweden is once again great. I mean, did you see Witness? He jumped out the second he got thrown and still he was down to like 40% HP. Sweden is just calling, coordinating their moves so well as a team. It's really, really awesome to see that. Good coordination from them. Now with level 10 abilities nearly ready for the Swedish team. We're going to see them try and get the second Immortal as well. And down to the bottom of the map, still the 4-man for Ukraine. They're trying to break maybe through that wall. If they can take the fountain down too, that would be nice. Would be an added bonus. But they still have the Hanzo factor. With the Hanzo factor, they can try and go for the objective now. But level 10... Level 10 is a problem, let's face it. So they're just trying to burn it as quickly as they can, but they have to dodge the fights. And they're already moving back. Got quite a bit of damage onto it, but oh, into the Immortal stun, no! Anubarak, he slides out. Witness gets stunned again, heading just a bit too good there. Even the push into the wall, Diablo with an escape attempt, but that's not gonna work out for him. Leoric, that is. Both from the same universe, but not quite the same person. So yeah, Leo is down, the Skeleton King is dead. And the only one that suffers in this game is actually Mr. Swiffer himself. So Mr. Clean is having a bit of a problem there. He died already 3 times in this game. So get some damage out. Halftime show has been won, but there's still no level 10. Hanzo's trying to get it top side. Jaina's at the bottom of the map. So it's all about attempting to get those few experience points that they need. Hide, Hanzo. Hide. They're trying to go in there. But yeah, here comes the move. Level 10 is ready. Are we going to see that arrow? Are they going to go for the engage? They have Cocoon right now. They have the ring. It's time to shine, baby. Now or never. And they go for it. They're trying to move in. And here comes the Ring of Frost. Jaina in trouble. The Entomb, the arrow. And down she goes. Turan is the first one to fall. Jaina with the Ring of Frost from the back line. Now Bergholt is on the run. They can't close the distance to him, but Gia is also a bit exposed. Still 2 fighting though. Thrall is low on mana and he's down. Svamgrotta falls. Timeless about to die too. Another kill and Ukraine is back to business, baby. They go in and well, we have it. Level 11 in the hand, 6 kills against 4. Fantastic setup by the Ukraine. They could have even gotten a little bit more. If Anubarak might have had a chance to go onto Reina, they could have killed him too. But there was no damage follow-up anyways. So now we have 12 stacks for Thrall on the Trash Lightning. His damage output, once he completes that, is going to be great. But right now, they have to face the music because Ukraine is back to business. 6 kills against 4. They're taking their camp too. Starting to move down up to the top lane now. And we have also 10 stacks on Broccoli, slowly and steadily turning into Baby Groot and trying to get a little bit stronger here. Hit puberty and just like wreck people. You watched Infinity Wars, I know you did. I'm just waiting for the arrow engage. Entomb is there, arrow is ready as well. So you move out once and you're getting bodied, but Sweden is not afraid of that at all. Because Leoric showed bot lane. So they know it's a 5 versus 4 in their favor, but Leoric is escorting an entire wave in. And we actually have an intercept path already set by Ukraine. Timeless is taking the safest path he can possibly take towards the bot lane. He knows that they might try and catch him. And they're making the play for the bottom fort now. They get a lot of damage on. I don't think they can actually take it. Oh, well, they might if they continue that. I mean, all the beetles on the ground are soaking up the shots still, so that works. Broccoli also soaking a few more. Thrall is still topside, still looking at 12 stacks. What a great game here, or a great mid-game here at least, from Ukraine. Question is always, can they set these combos up a few more times? Because that's what they have to do if they want to win it. Nice vision. Denado is there. The throw. Arthur's to the front line. Lockdown. Entomb. Ring of Frost. Hanzo jumps back. The ring hits 4, but they lose Jaina in the process. The cocoon is on the ground, and we have Leo trying to make the play for handing on Tyrande, but everybody's turning around against him, and Arthur's is zoning the entire Ukrainian team in the backline. Candlelight gets thrown in, and he is down. Leoric dead. So is Jaina. The ring was good, but Jaina was too exposed, and it all started with this man. Backhold with the throw. He throws Arthur straight into the middle of the opponent's team. We talked about it in draft. One of the weaknesses of Arthur's is the lack of mobility. Well, don't need that much mobility if you have a strong orc at your side that can throw, that not only supports you with his income, but also can throw you into the opponent's team. Denado, lockdown. Just before the stun comes out. Candlelight, looking for the Entomb, looking for it still. The taunt and the kill. Leorki is dead. Oh my god, and they get Malfurion into. Leoric, I die. Leoric again. Damn. Sweden is just firing from all angles now. That last battle that we saw, where Ukraine took 3, apparently upset them a little bit. Here comes the throw again, and Arthur's is like, I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. Kill Jaina every night and day. But he's also dead. So Jaina down, and so is Anubarak. Again, the engage works, and Backhold is just having a good time. He's just throwing Arthurs in time after time again, and it works. They can't insta-blow him up. They don't have the tools for that, and it's really difficult to dodge away from it. So they get 2 more kills, 12 against 5 now, and we have the Immortal halftime show already taken. Good job by them. I mean, 13 talents on both sides at this point. And you can imagine how the damage output is going to look once that we're seeing the Thunderstorm for Thrall, and he's going to get that stack too. Looking at their damage, I mean, Thrall is sitting at 28, so he has nearly the same damage output as Reyna. And again, we are not even completed with Trash Lightning. That's another thing here. 12 against 5, and again the attempt for the defense here. Ukraine, they have their tools. They have the Entomb, they have the Arrow. They have everything that they need at this point. Well, Thrall still looking for the engage. He has his Earthquake ready. Here he comes, moving in from the side, looking for that flank. Looks to see if they can maybe make a play there. 15 versus 14 now. Here comes the Hyperion. They're trying to burn it down. They're trying to burn it down, and they burn down Jaina first of all. Down she goes. They find the engage. They find the angle. In comes the Earthquake. Anubarak is on the run, but once more gets locked down by the Howling Blast here. Arthur's is showing no mercy here. He's a frosty guy, and that is taking 2 more lives. Nearly level 16 as well. Nearly level 16 at this point. Well, scratch that. They aren't 16. And they want to have Leo too. No! Leo, I believed in you. I thought you could clean it up, but nope. Not even the janitor can clean this up. Sweden is mad. They lost yesterday in an incredibly close series, and they're saying this 3rd place is ours. Get the hell out of our match. They want a quick 3-0 here, and the Ukraine is firing back. Ukraine is firing back on from everything they have, but it's tough. Sweden with 15 kills against 5. And Ukraine, they need the setup. They need the Entomb into the ring, into the Arrow. They need the Wombo. They need to blow up that pesky Tyrande in the back. Henning is playing such a great game. Tempest Fury taken for Thrall even, not going into Thunderstorm with his quest. And I'm coming back, by the way, to what I said earlier. 18 stacks on the Crash Lightning, 12 away, so barely at just above half. And we have the game nearly ending. One of the reasons why you don't get massive value out of that talent oftentimes. To be fair, he got more than most. I mean, he still gets some damage out of it. Here comes the arrow, here comes the cocoon. The ring doesn't do anything at all because the target was cocooned, and now Anubarak is dead. Ukraine is falling apart a little bit here. The Hyperion moves in, the core is already being attacked, and this, ladies and gentlemen, with another kill against Jaina, is going to be game number 2. As Sweden takes a 2-0 lead in the best of 5 series against Ukraine. Ukraine against Sweden, the 3rd place decider, and well, Sweden is on fire. They are hungry. Sweden is sitting there now and saying like, yep, this series belongs to us, get the hell out of here. Ukraine, I mean, honestly, they fight well. They always find an angle to come back into the game, and on Battlefield of Eternity, they had one fight where they nearly made it happen. They got 3 kills, they brought it back to even levels, even experience. But every single time they challenge Sweden, the Swedish team just turns around, gets a few more kills in the next fight and makes it happen. So now it's one single map win away from the Ukraine of, from Sweden to win this with potentially even a 3-0. So Ukraine has to somehow come back into this. And it is going to be tricky. Because, well, you have to win 3 in a row, first of all, if you want to win the series, but also, how do they break through the Swedish setup? They're already banning a lot of the comfort heroes that the Swedish team has, and still it doesn't work out for them. Berghult moves into Garrosh and other heroes. He has great synergy with Henning in the back. But now they're actually leaving Hanzo open and pick Tyrande instead. Ooh, okay. Sky Temple, that should lead us to an immediate Hanzo pick for Sweden. Could be Hanzo Rhaegar. They love to play Rhaegar with Henning, especially if they can't rely on Tyrande. But even if Tyrande is up, they oftentimes go into Rhaegar instead. So I'm not sure if they are really playing Malfurion here. Rhaegar with more camp control. And they love to play around the... okay, Arthas first. They love to play around the Ancestral Healing. So Hanzo and Arthas are being picked. Arthas on the off lane, as I said before. He gains more and more popularity now when we're looking at these games. And ooh, damn, like, Ukraine is opening up with a bang. Zeratul and Diablo immediately. So already some wombo potential on their end. Sweden, they're either going to ban Jaina or they're going to pick Jaina. And they ban Jaina out. Now, if you look at that Void Prison and potentially Apocalypse, or it doesn't matter, Lightning Breath, then you want to get rid of Jaina. That burst damage is too much. And to be honest, Ukraine had to know that. I mean, that was a Captain Obvious move right there. If you pick Zeratul, Diablo, Tyrande, you know your opponent is going to get rid of Jaina. There is no way. So they could play Orphea instead. Try and play with Orphea here. That's one of the adjustments that we've seen in the past a few times. Svamgrotta gets his Hanzo. Well, it depends a little bit. We see Gia sometimes on Hanzo too, but now they have the chance to go into Junkrat. So they could play their Junkrat style. Hanzo Junkrat is like priority combo for them. Deckard Cain over Rhaegar this time. A bit of an adjustment from them. Great for boss control too. So once the boss is being fought over, they can do that. Muradin even after Garrosh gets banned out. Allows them an adjustment on the last pick. But now Ukraine. How is Ukraine playing this? They need more damage. Ooh, Malthael, alright. Malthael and Tracer. Fair enough. Didn't quite see that coming, to be honest with you. At least not Malthael in that combo. Oh, damn. Ooh, the Medivh setup. Against Last Rites and the Bomb of Tracer, that is actually pretty great. We haven't seen this many Medivhs in the Nexus contest, but that is a really good point there. If they can get the damage out, that is a sick setup. So, guys, game number 3. Sky Temple is the map, and it might be the last. Sweden going up against Ukraine. Game on, everybody. Sweden in the lead with a 2-0 against Ukraine, and we have, to the left, Henning on Deckard Cain, Berghult on Muradin, Svamgrotta on Hanzo, Gia on Medivh, and Timeless on Arthas. To the right side of the map, Ukraine. They need to win 3 in a row if they want to decide the series in their favor. We are currently looking at Witness on Tracer. We have Candlelight on Malthael. Denardo on Diablo, Valamax on Zeratul, and Shamzik on Tyrande. Right, let's see how Medivh is going to play this. Already, we're having the stack quest for Muradin and moving straight into the vision topside. For Diablo, Feast on Fear taken on level 1. I'm making an adjustment around that. Also, a slight adjustment on Arthas. I mean, again, level 1, you can either go into Rhyme for the block talent, or you can go into your Howling Blast Frost talent, which is exactly what he's doing. Taking the Frost presence here. Pretty good one too. You get more lockdown through it, and especially when we're talking about things like, let's say, boss control for a big fight later on. That really helps you out a lot. So, Medivh is the X factor in this game. I mean, that's always the case. That's a bit unfortunate there. That's not quite what you want. I mean, Denardo gets the flip over, but they need to communicate this a little bit better. Where is Shamzik going to land this time? Swamgrota gets bodied. Finally is able to get his Hanzo. And then he just gets completely slapped around here. To me, it actually looked like Diablo was the one delivering the final blow. Just smashing. Like what he basically did, he took his like fist, took his hand, his claws, wrapped them around Hanzo's head, and then smashed that head into a wall until there was only a blood smear there. That's what he did. Pretty much like in the D.Va trailer. The one where Diablo is just obliterating Genji and then D.Va helps out. That's pretty much what happened there. Just in this case, there was no saving D.Va. There was nobody. Diablo just went in and had the full claw fight. But somehow, Witness got the last hit. Nani? Okay. Malthael dies randomly in a 1 versus 1 scenario. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but that shouldn't have happened. It was a little bit weird. Fair enough. Kill for a kill. In the match as a whole. But yeah, that was a little bit of a Monka moment right there. Interesting, level 4. Dust of Appearance being taken here. I mean, against Zeratul, why not? So, okay. Trying to make the slight adjustment against Zeratul to find out what's going on with that. And trying to, of course, see his position a little bit earlier in those fights to avoid a big Void Prison coming out and locking them down completely. So, well, it's a good adjustment to be safe against him. A lot of vision, by the way, in general. I mean, Swamgrota, first of all, can, of course, provide the vision. Nice save by him, but they also have a little bit more. Talking about more, there's the Engage, Howling Blast. Okay, they get it, but they don't want to go into the choke point here. Especially not against Tyrande with all of her stuns. The Slash build, the Cleave build for Zeratul. He's going to get that through soonish. 16 is going to be the big one for him, but even the level 10 alone already is going to be quite a bit of added value, just simply because he's going to be able to set that combo up for the opponent, for his team. But now we have the 2 shrines, the 2 temples active on the map, and this is time to show what you got. I mean, it is Sky Temple, so every single objective that you claim is attacking the structures. If you can take some structures down by simply pushing, that's even better. Valamax and Gia are going up against each other, and Valamax needs to be really careful right now. I mean, dude, you're playing with fire here. The bird is already on you. The bird is already there, and Valamax is moving away back to the core. That's tricky. Tricky is also what Denardo is doing up at the top. He gets body blocked pretty hard there. They're going for Tracer. They can't really decide who they want to kill first. Tracer is already low. Witness on the run. And barely gets out. But the fight is still ongoing as we have even the minions on the temple itself starting to chip in. And Diablo is about to fall. There's the kill. But the counter kill attempt against Timeless. And Zeratul finishes what Tracer started. He himself is also dead though. So once again, we're having kills traded evenly. Tracer nearly getting locked down there. They even have the vision. But there's no additional kill. And now that Medivh has basically, like, Gia already won the 1 versus 1 against Zeratul, so Candlelight said, well, I'm going to take over here, I'm going to try and do that. And we still have Medivh just trying to get the stacks. 9 stacks for him so far, not really too much. 10 on the side of Muradin. Still fighting over the top here. And so far, things are going pretty well for Sweden. They're moving in again. Backhold with a stun. Tyrande comes in with a counter. Here's once again Deckard Cain. And Zeratul in the backline. Swamgrota is low. Gets the potion. And is safe for now. Timeless even dropping the Howling Blast onto him. Expecting Zeratul to re-engage. Which wasn't the case. But it's still blow for blow here in the 4 versus 4 setup that we're seeing between the two of them. Fighting for vision now too. And Zeratul is having a tough time here. I mean, he's going up against Medivh with Vision, he's going up against an Arthas, so it's not going to be an easy game for him by any means. The adjustment on level 7, by the way, for Tyrande, Moonlit Arrows. Don't see that too often, to be honest. I mean, I am a little bit shocked that we don't see a Celestial Attunement given the amount of CC that we have on the other side. But given that, you normally see Khaldor's resistance for the spell armor. Not quite a talent that you need in this game because there's very little mage power on the other side compared to what could have been here. But instead, it's going to be Moonlit Arrows. So Tyrande adjustment. Camp stolen away by Ukraine are saying like, this is looking good, we take this. Thanks for all the work you've done. I appreciate the effort. But this is us. And now we have level 9 on both sides. Again, it comes down to the next temple, right? This is normally when things are starting to get serious, once you have the one at the bot lane spawn. And from that point on, it's pretty much who's ahead, who has the most structures taken on the map, and then you have to start thinking about, okay, do we maybe have to go into a fight around a boss or something? Force it, try and take the battle here. So it's going to be important who takes the lead, and the level 10 ability is going to give us a small indicator for that, but they are so close in experience that there shouldn't really be a big difference. Gia is playing this pretty careful now at the bot lane against Witness in particular. He can't really lose his stacks here, and he knows that too. He's already sitting at 16. Both of the teams, top side now taking the Bruiser camp. And here's the heroics. Apocalypse and Void Prison. The combo set up by Ukraine. And on the other side, pretty much the standard talents. The only ones that we're really having to watch out for is this particular Medivh. Are they going to go for a polybomb play? Stay a while and listen. As a setup. Oh, Zeratul. Ah, that hurts. They were trying to make the play against Medivh. It doesn't work out. He has polybomb now. The arrow connects from Hanzo. Swamp again with a good one. And now they have full control over the bottom temple. There's no way you engage into that if half of your combo is missing. Without the setup through the Void Prison, there's very little they can do with this. Unless someone's inting, and that doesn't really seem that way. Especially with Candlelight already topside. Ah, that is tough. It's a little bit tough there for sure. Timeless. Still fighting up against Candlelight and the camp, but the bot lane is pretty much what we described earlier. Now, they rotate heroes to the top to deal with Malthael. At the bottom, because of the numeric advantage and Zeratul being back in the game, we have now the remaining shots taken over by Ukraine. But Malthael goes down. Malthael is dropped at the top after all. Swamp moving in with Gia and Timeless, and they're getting another kill against him. So far, the aspect of death has done a lot of dying in this game. No ult, by the way, for Tyrande yet. She's still holding it. Still holding her 10, and finally picks it. So, going into the Shadow Stalk. Don't see any Starfall shenanigans here with even more AoE. And also, topside, Zeratul goes down. Drops the Void Prison, but gets chased behind. Zeratul eliminated. Another big kill here. Things are starting to become really grim for Ukraine. I mean, they're losing heroes left and right. They're not too far behind in experience, but now we're having the first fort fall. The one in the middle could be taken out now too, as Ukraine is starting to move in for this one. But the kills, at least, are not really a good indicator. So there are a couple of things, of course, that we still have to point out with that too. We haven't really seen a big team fight yet. We have seen a couple of gangs, we have seen a couple of approaches to go for individual kills, but we haven't seen a team fight yet where Void Prison and Apocalypse came into play. A lot of the quest talents are also not completed yet. In particular, of course, I'm looking at Medivh here, who hasn't finished his baseline and is barely halfway through with it. Yeah. And, I mean, I guess it comes down to a temple fight. Sweden is really looking like they're not trying to take a fight here. They even have level 13 talents and they're not doing anything special. They are not playing too aggressive. They are trying to get those individual kills whenever they can on the map and then reap the benefits from that. And they do it well. Do it really well. There's a bit of a trap setup though. And maybe there's a fight. I would have been surprised if they really forced a fight over the camp, given that they don't have level 13 yet. So they're going to wait for the extra talent. They're going to get it too. But with level 13, we now have also, amongst other things, Shattered Armor. So even more snipe abilities from them. Plus Enduring Will. So the cooldown reduction that you can get here. And here's the single temple, no, double temple. One in the middle, one in the bottom. And let's see how this rotation goes and who takes it. Malthael has to be careful. He's the one sitting solo in the mid lane. And getting the first few shots any seconds. Yep, there we go. There's like one fort missing for each team. 1-4 taken down by each team here. And Malthael again. There's the arrow, the Howling Blast, and Malthael is dead. Time and time again this setup works. And it was well done. I mean, Hanzo knew that he had to go in here, so he shoots it immediately. The only other option for Malthael would have to be to go up again to dodge the arrow, and if he does that, he's right in the range of Arthur's. So it was, again, a nice setup here from Sweden, and that's the way they've been playing the entire game, and they're doing it really well. Again, the fight down here at the bot lane, but what are you going to do in a 4 versus 5? Well, Tracer tries to get some damage onto the back line. Little chance of that happening. Malthael is going to be back now. He's back. And oh, that could be it! Ah! Swamp Grotta is down. Hanzo caught, and that's the kill that brings Ukraine back into this. Every time they fall behind, they find an opening. And they did it again. Now they're going straight into the middle. They capture one of the temples. They're also working on their camp. One fort at the bot lane is taken down. But from a structural perspective, we are actually now seeing a lead for Ukraine. They've taken every single fort. Structurally, they are ahead, and that means that passive experience will also, over time, give them a lead in the game itself when it comes to experience and to a talent advantage. So that one kill allowed them to take back a little bit of map control, and it was all that they needed. Sweden, still in a decent position. Don't get me wrong. They are still looking strong. But this passive experience right here is soon going to be heavily in favor of the team in red. And if Ukraine can get the early level 16 or just 16 at the same time, force another good fight, they might be able to turn this around. The death of Swamp Grotta may be marking a comeback in this game right now. 7 kills against 3. Looks pretty kill heavy, but again, most of these kills were just rotations that we saw. As you can see here, for example, the damage numbers aren't really all that high. We are already 12 minutes into the game, and we didn't really have a lot of team fights. It's very heavily rotating around the objective that both of them are focusing on right now. Muradin with Stone Form on 16. Talents now taken by Sweden. I mean, they have that advantage for a few seconds, but they can't force anything around it, especially since they don't have Leyline. If they had a Leyline seal over the Polybomb, then maybe Medivh had a chance to just go in and try and use that, set it up for the rest of the team to move in, but they don't. So that's another big issue at this point. 16 now for both teams, and that means Void Slash. Zeratul is going to be a happy bander here. Boss attempt. Yeah, you can scratch that. That's not happening. Oh, but the kill against Zeratul. Damn, son. Shows his face for a second, walks into a stun, and is dead immediately. The blow-ups that we're seeing from Sweden are just too well coordinated. Can't dodge that, especially with Tyrande not having Celestial Attunement. Even if she would have been in range, she couldn't have done anything about it. Boss taken. They're willing to take the fight here. The Tracer is low, and the ult from Malthael, but there's no kill, and now Tracer with a bomb. Hanzo is so close to dying, and he's actually eliminated by Tyrande, but the fight isn't over. It's Tyrande herself who dies shortly after. Witness is still alive on Tracer, but the boss was avoided. It's a kill for a kill, and you can't take boss. Ukraine again with a good play. They're trading a kill for a kill. They make sure that their opponent is not able to grab the boss. And now they're just waiting for Tyrande to be back. But they have, of course, Zeratul back in the game. They are really fighting for every single inch of this. And every single time when they finally look like they can set up a combo, it seems that one part of the combo is falling apart by just an isolated kill happening, and Sweden stacking their CCs so well that it's inescapable. So now we have, again, another temple taken, but look at that map again. The temple here is mostly claimed by by Ukraine, and Sweden is losing more ground on the map. Yes, they have the kill advantage, they have twice as many kills as the Ukraine, but they're falling behind in structures. Here's the slow, Zeratul is topside, and is taking more shots for the team now. So once again, we're having an advantage for Ukraine. They're getting this one pretty easily. They've already put the pressure onto the mid keep. Now they're starting to work at the wall over here. Medivh is providing vision at the top, but this is going to be a big team fight, and the fort in the mid lane is still there. Here comes the arrow, and this one misses. The arrow misses completely. Void Prison, Apoc, and baby, it's 4 heroes. Hanzo goes down. The ult drops. Oh my god, Medivh loses the stacks. The ult from Malthael, the last rights, it drops Deckard Cain, and the Ukraine just chat on Sweden in the last fight. Oh my god. What a Void Prison. Valamax has been taken out several times, but this time he delivers. He gets the perfect Void Prison. They get the APOC off. They hit 4 heroes with it, and then everybody just explodes onto Sweden. They take down 3. They go for boss. They have the camp at the temple at the top. That was the moment right there. Ukraine with the momentum right now. Sweden was looking strong in this best of 5. They took 2 games, especially after strong early and mid games, but right now it's the Ukraine who is starting to get ahead in game number 3. A few shots at the top, still fired. They get 5 over, but that's already it. A lot of the structures have been eliminated. It's 5. I mean, this is boss for keep right now. You want the keep. You want the first one. They're going in at the bot lane. It's a 5 versus 5 again. But we also have 15 and 20 seconds until Void Prison and Apocalypse are back. There's definitely a chance they can set that up again. And Medivh has lost every single stack that he has. Here we go. Again, boss being forced down. Apocalypse is going to be ready in another 2 seconds. Diablo can go for an Apocalypse combo, or he can wait for Zeratul. They're waiting for Zeratul. They're going for Muradin. Stay a while and get listen, baby. There's the Muradin move and the shield preventing the damage from last rights. Valamax looking for the Void. He gets it against 2. And Diablo. Boom! Ah, down goes. No! Medivh with a shield. Is he gonna die? Nah, he is. Zeratul delivers the hit. Muradin is dead, and all of a sudden it is time to think about the core as we have a 5 versus 3. Sweden, they don't have level 20, but the Storm Talents have been taken by Ukraine. They go in, they try and drop the core, and Ukraine with another kill against Hanzo is on their way to victory to put their name onto the scoreboard. Sweden has won 2, but Ukraine starts a comeback on Sky Temple. They take the win, they take the fight, they take the map, and they force Sweden into game number 4. Cursed Hollow, game number 4. Sweden looked really, really strong. I mean, granted, we had a couple of fights, especially in game number 1, but also in game number 2, where Ukraine could have turned it around. But Sweden at the end always prevailed. Not so on Sky Temple though, our last map. We had Ukraine win again, one crucial fight, and this time the momentum was not stopped. The pain train kept coming, and Sweden couldn't stop it. My F is banned out, and we are going to see Tyrael and Blaze getting eliminated again. They know how to play around their opponent, and yeah, Ukraine is very much so in the know what they can play here and what they need to ban out. Hanzo is going to become important. Who's going to pick him? That's the big question. I guess at this point, it shouldn't be... Okay, they could have banned out Hanzo, they didn't, so now the question is Hanzo going to be a first pick again? Because if not, Ukraine is going to take it for themselves. And as it stands, Tyrande is picked instead. Okay, keep in mind, she offers a lot... Ooh. Well, Void Prison and Apocalypse worked in game number 4, so why not rely on it in game number 5? They're even willing to give Hanzo up because of that. So I'm game. Let's see how this is going to work out. Early pick into Zeratul, early pick into Diablo. Tyrande taken to provide vision around the bosses, get the interrupt going when a channel happens at the tribute. This should be Hanzo. And I guess Frontline could be picked for Bakul because we had yep. Okay. Guys, this is literally the first game that I cast of Sweden where they didn't go into immediate picks on Hanzo when they had the chance. Literally the first game in this tournament where this happens. But you can see how things start to change a little bit. Against Zeratul, Hanzo's obviously a little bit weaker, in the sense that if Zeratul jumps on him, there's a good chance that you might get the kill. So I guess that removes some of the value that they thought they had there. Arthur and Garrosh are great heroes at the front. Greyman banned out even. They're not worried about Hanzo. Zeratul is in play, and that makes them not worry about Hanzo anymore. They're saying, hey, we're okay if you pick Hanzo. We're absolutely fine with that. But yeah, Garrosh was great for Backhold on Battlefield of Eternity. He played fantastically around it, and the Arthur's priority has risen continuously. Now, the Jaina ban, does it shock anybody? You have a Void Prison set up already on the other side with an Apocalypse. Do you really want to run into Ring of Frost and the Blizzard Burst damage? The answer, in case you were wondering, is no. That leaves us with 2 more picks. We have Ukraine. Malfurion for the heals now would be good, but then again, Tyranda's obviously already taken, so you don't have to worry about too much. There's Hanzo, get picked away, and they have Malfurion. That's a lot of setups. I mean, if they actually go in with this setup, Apocalypse is still likely, and you don't even have to go into Void Prison Apocalypse. You can go Hanzo Arrow into Apocalypse too, if you find a good engage. This is actually scary what Ukraine has. The draft on the other side isn't bad either. I mean, we're talking against a massive front line. Li Ming maybe has the damage, trying to get the resets here. Genji, Li Ming, double resets for them. Jimmy instead. Jimmy with the extra damage that he will get through Arthur's and all of those slows that come with the Frozen Tempest. Ace in the hole on level 1 is going to help him to get those extra 15% continuously. And Genji with that. Leaves Li Ming open as a potential pick for Ukraine. If they want to try and get those resets around the combo that they have, they can do it. But that also means they have only Zeratul for potential offlaner and no other melee. So, bit iffy. And Thrall it is instead, and that makes sense. That absolutely makes sense. Game number 4, it is Cursed Hollow, and we have good drafts on both sides. A very scary one around wombo combos in those small quarter fights that we have in these corridors on Cursed Hollow from Ukraine. So we might see map 5. Time will tell, but I'm excited for this one. So let's jump straight in and see what Ukraine can do on Cursed Hollow. Game number 1 ended in favor of Sweden. Game number 4 is on Cursed Hollow. To the left, Henning for Sweden on Tyrande. We see Svamgrota on Reyna, Backhold on Garrosh, Timeless on Arthurs, and Gia on Genji. To the right side of the map, Witness on Hanzo. We have Malfurion, played by Shamzik, and Denado on Diablo with Valamax on Zeratul. Last but not least, Candlelight on the offlane is going to play Thrall this time, going into Echo of Elements as a stacking quest on level 1. No Trash Lightning shenanigans. Map, obviously, making a lot of sense with that setup too. But we have a lot of wombo combo potential around Void Prison, around Apocalypse, and around Hanzo's Arrow from Ukraine. They don't even have to use only the Void Prison as a setup. They can play it around Hanzo's Arrow, Engage, and Diablo's Apocalypse if they want to play it that way. So I'm excited to see that mid game here. There's a lot of vision that Tyrande provides on the map, by the way. So oftentimes when you look at Tyrande, you look at mostly the coordination and the synergy that she has with other heroes on the team. You talk about Stitches and the hook, Diablo, his engage, maybe even Arthur's with the Howling Blast. Garrosh, when he throws a target over, stuns it out so she can follow up on it. So that's a huge part of why you want to have Tyrande in your draft when she synergizes with your melee heroes. But there's another reason, obviously, why she's very strong on this map. So when you think about the objective, the channel on the tribute can be interrupted by her owl, and that means that you can oftentimes delay the objective a bit, and it allows you to get your team into position to really start a fight. There's a bit more to it than that, though, because if you have Tyrande and the owl ready, okay. Thrall dying at the top side. Poor War Chief. Green Jesus my ass. So he goes down. Quick kill for Sweden. But coming back to the thought process with Tyrande, she can scout out those boss pits very, very easily on both sides. And of course also the bruiser camps themselves. So once that happens, it just gives you really good knowledge and a read on the map. So it's not quite like legal map hack status just yet. You're not seeing that much. But you have a very good idea of what exactly is going on. So that's one of the reasons why she is fantastic. And I mean, here's the perfect example. Sends over the owl, a couple of heroes are missing, sees that the camp is being taken, and can just tell everybody else, guys, you're safe. You can either rotate. In a different universe, they might have been trying to play a little bit more aggressive and could move in. So she provides a lot of vision. And that is fantastic for this map in particular. So now we have an earlier level 4. Both of the teams with the Siege Giant camps, but that added Bruiser camp that is already moving through the middle is going to allow the Ukraine to push this a little bit harder. You want to play around the Spell Aura if you can and try to push that in. Level 4 abilities are ready for the 2. And we're still seeing Thrall trying to get his stacks together. Obviously, with the death against him in the early stages, that was slowed down. And he's only sitting at 7 stacks right now. A lot of Thrall players are going to be able to complete that quest around 4 minutes. We've seen anything from 3.5 to 4:20. So there is a chance that we're going to have him delayed this time. And that gives the sec... Oh, yeah. Genji against Zeratul. And, well, this time it looks like Gia is going to get the kill. Yep. Singularity Spike missed earlier, and Gia is just saying, I'm going to have none of that. I'm going to body you, boy. You can maybe set up a couple of Void Prisons here, but in a one-on-one, I own your ass. So, yep, takes him down, and that gives also a tribute over to the blue team. Sweden with a channel, get the first tribute, pressure play in the middle, thanks to the camp that they took. And of course now they're also trying to capitalize on that spell aura that I've been talking about. And with this, they're breaking through the wall. There needs to be a defense, and it's finally ready as Valamax is starting to move in. And tries to get those slices and dices through. Hanzo's build, by the way, speccing into the auto attack and Stormbow. Explosive arrows are here, and we have now a Stormbow quest with the target practice on level 1 for him too. 7 is on the board, and Sweden opening this game up with 2 kills with a couple of structures destroyed. The first tribute cap in their favor, and a pretty solid start overall. It's the level 10 that matters. Level 10, when the combo comes online, this is when things are going to start to become a little bit more tricky. So what's important for Ukraine is that they either get a tribute, or they at least delay the tribute of their opponent long enough so that tribute number 3 is going to be on the map around level 10 and their abilities. That's going to be important. In an ideal world, Sweden would of course now try to get 3 tributes before level 10 abilities are online, or try and get a lead in experience, which they have by a level, where they can get an easy 3rd one. So this is why Ukraine is going to fight over this. They're at least going to delay it for like a long amount of time. But a great flank from Arthas. Shamzik in trouble. Nature's Cure being used. Backline kill against Tyrande though. Ukraine with a kill. Malfurion still alive. And they go for Reyna. Thrown out by Garrosh. Backhold with a good idea and a good move. But Zeratul was ready for it. Took him down. Now Arthas dies. And Ukraine, damn! 3 kills all of a sudden. Well, make it 4. And they're trying to get even a 5th, but it's not a full team wipe. The tribute is taken, and now we're seeing them go straight for the boss. What a setup again. The early game looking a little bit iffy. 2 deaths against them, lose the first tribute, then they go into the team fight for the second, and the Ukraine is just murdering people. And now we have a boss about to be taken. Of course, the counter reaction on the other side of the map is for Sweden to take a boss by themselves. But it allows a lot of time on the map, and the rotation is actually happening, and I'm not quite sure if they should really stay here. And they are also starting to question that choice. The problem is, if they complete this, they would allow the red team to rotate down and grab the boss as well, the second one. It took 1 fight to turn this game around. 1 single fight. I mean, again, I really feel that Heroes is a fantastic game, but the lack of combat mechanics is a bit of a problem. I would rate it 6.5 out of 10. That's me personally. Hashtag know your meme. And this is now the next tribute. This one should be a freebie for Ukraine. Sweden is still busy defending against the boss at the top lane. They have also the Siege Giant camp, so that is going to help them take this pretty easily. Shouldn't really be an issue. But now at the bottom of the map, we even have a trap set up against Gia, and he knows it too. He's playing safe right now. He's saying like, yeah, I'm not going to risk anything here. I'm going to stay right where I am. Backhold, on the other hand, he wants to interrupt, doesn't he? Look at Zeratul. Yeah, he's already lurking. Yeah, there's the Void Prison. Void Prison, Earthquake, the arrow. They're fighting. They're fighting for this. It's not a freebie. They actually fight for this. And now the question is, where's the VP? When does the poke come through? Here's all... Oh, Backhold is in trouble. The taunt. And he goes down. Oh my god, this is bad. Already the VP, the arrow. Get wrecked. Arrow stacks with the Apocalypse, but who cares? That is a disaster. But Mel falls, but doesn't really matter. Reyna is dead, and so is Tyrande. They're even going to get Genji, and now Timeless is completely isolated. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a 5-man team wipe as Ukraine body slams their opponent. Take an easy team fight victory. The combo comes in extremely late, but it does work. And even before it, they already dropped Garrosh. Now we're having 9 kills against 3, and they're trying to go for the boss. But to be fair, that boss is currently doing what Sweden couldn't. The boss does what Sweden couldn't do. It takes basically everybody down there realizing we're kind of low in HP, and guys, it's 7 minutes into the game. Death timers are pretty low. Might be a good idea to just let this one slide for now and move back, and it was a good choice. I appreciate the idea of them to try and go in and take the boss, but let's face it, they were so low. That would have been a throw pit. So I think that was a smart decision, even though they used a bit more time than they probably should have. But it was a good effort, good move. Way better to move back than having a throw pit moment and getting wiped on the boss and the boss stolen away. Like, that would have been the ticket for Sweden to get a massive lead in this game, and you don't want to make that to happen. So, good move. 9 kills against 3. Again, guys, I like this series. And here's the boss attack. Huh? They would give up Curse, though. Ah, well, not quite. It's actually 26 seconds. That's a nice race. It's a nice race, but it also allows the setup at the top. They're gonna get this one. The rotation is already too late. But I guess Ukraine by now knows what's happening. Yeah, we saw that, Henning. We saw that. We caught that. Good stun. They take the boss. Now they can rotate, but yeah, look at the setup here. Diablo in position, Thrall in position. They're just trying to zone them out. Valamax is sitting here. Here comes the owl, gets eaten, and that is Curse. Void Prison, and oh, includes Diablo, but the arrow, and now, oh my god, this is beautiful! A work of art as Reina dies. Sweden is on the run once again. They're focusing on Arthur's, and yep, he's down, and we might even see the kill against Berchult. Triple kill once again. It's the Curse. Diablo was caught in the Void Prison as well, but they still had Hanzo's arrow. And it was a beautiful release. The arrow is in, the Void Prison is released, the stun comes through, and Denado syncs his own stun perfectly with the arrow stun, and they just lock them down into oblivion. They get 3 kills. The wombo combo is too much. Guys, I can tell you one thing. If this is resulting in a victory for Ukraine on map 4, Sweden will ban Zeratul. Sweden is gonna ban Zeratul. These combos are just too tough for them to handle right now. The boss at the bot lane has been defended. Didn't really do a whole lot. I mean, you can already tell that not even the fort has fallen here. Thrall has taken it down. Now we have every single fort eliminated. The keep itself has taken damage. A 1.5 level lead that we see for Ukraine. They have 12 kills against 3, and they're just bodying noobs the entire time. Bodying noobs and nerds. I was going for nerds. I'm not quite sure where noobs came from, because Sweden is definitely not playing like noobs. Both of these teams are pretty strong. I mean, they had a fantastic group stage, both of them. Ukraine with a loss against Russia, but to my knowledge that was also with a sub player. Now we have 13 talents on the board. And yeah, they're taking the map. There is a boss up on the other hand. There is one boss up to the top. And you have to guard that a bit. And that's where Zeratul comes into play. He's already just sitting here, seeing what's going on. Yeah, don't face check that, buddy. Hanzo, you are... Okay, there's the vision. I was about to say, like, you kind of want to send Diablo in there, not anybody else, because that's not going to work. But Zeratul has a Void Prison again. Zeratul has a Void Prison, and guess what we have? Yes, a Void Prison, an arrow, Apocalypse. Good move with a cleanse with a Celestial Attunement, but is it enough? I'm not sure. There comes the kill against Malfurion, and that's the game changer. Sweden had enough of this shit. They move in and they're saying like, yep, twice is enough. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. But a third time, that's not going to happen here. And this is the kills that they needed. Malfurion is down. They go for Thrall. And the War Chief is dead. No green Jesus in this one. They could go for boss, though, but they're not going to make that play. They have lanes pushing against them. They're looking for the experience here instead. Not sold on that decision just yet. I'm not quite sure why they didn't go for the boss play, to be absolutely honest with you. Maybe they were really so worried about the bot lane pressure that they decided not to, but I think they could have tried and take the boss here. 5 versus 3 on the map. They had a couple of seconds for it. It's a tough call to let the boss go in that situation, but they were more worried about their lanes and so move back, and I guess it brings them close in experience too, but it's definitely a tough call to make in that sense. It takes a lot of discipline to not immediately go for the boss here and make that play. Be it as it may, I guess they were probably afraid of like Zeratul's damage and everything else that could come through here. Diablo was already on his way back. But as it stands, we have the tribute being fought over. As the first interrupt. 1 tribute in the hands of Sweden. 0 on the other side. And now, of course, the idea of Ukraine to wait until 16. Get that Void Slash in, baby. get that damage. And Thrall with Thunderstorm will also be able to slow and poke them down much more heavily than before. But yeah, there's the channel again. Hanzo's trying to go for the delay. They go for Thrall. Howling Blast misses though. And here's the interrupt again. Nice. Diablo, there's the 16. Void Prison is ready. Two-man Void Prison. Apocalypse, they go for it. The arrow and the insta-kill against Tyrande. Tyrande who? Exactly. Garrosh is down as well. Valamax barely survives. Jumps in, jumps out. But there's too much. Diablo is not able to save him. Tries to stun out Arthas, but Arthas gets in the final blow. Gets another kill with the help of Genji against Malfurion. But it's still a 2-for-3 trade in favor of Ukraine. And they get the tribute now too. 16 versus 16 in terms of talents at this point in time. But damn, Ukraine, they got fired up again after losing 2 maps. And now they're of course on the boss here. And I gotta say, they really want to make that reverse sweep a reality. It's a 2-for-1 lead for Sweden in this best of 5. But Ukraine is absolutely doing their best to come back into the series now. They already had the victory on Sky Temple. And now here on Cursed Hollow, we are looking at a potential second win for them if they continue to play like this. They take the map, they take all of those structures, they get the passive experience bonus now, they have another boss claimed, and they could go for a second boss at the bottom of the map. Camp claimed now, in the middle, seeing another camp at the top. And right now the big question is simply, what does Ukraine want to do? I feel like the best choice would be to go for the tribute, take the boss as well, while your opponent defends the top lane. And that seems to be very much what they're looking at right now. They make the rotation towards the bottom of the map. They have their cooldowns back up in 5 seconds. Only the Void Prison of Zeratul is missing. And they make the immediate play for boss, as you would expect. And someone is going to try and go for the tribute now. It's only the second one. Yeah, vision is there. They actually let the boss go at this point. They're fighting over the boss. Arrow comes in, slows them down a little bit. They go for Berkult. Boss is still there. They try to go for that. Earthquake. Boss claimed. But Zeratul is dead. Couldn't use the Void Prison. Zeratul is dead. Diablo with the Apocalypse tries to slow them down. But he dies. And he's not the only one. After Zeratul falls, we have Malfurion eliminated. And now Gia is taking Thrall apart too. 4 heroes down. But the fort, the keep at the top lane, it is going to fall. Oh, barely survive. Oh, it's close. No way. What? Hello? 35 hit points. 35 hit points. Oh, that is 1 hit. And the bot lane has been defended too. I mean, there's nothing on the map now for Sweden to take. That's the problem, but they came back in experience. Zeratul dying this quickly in the last fight after Garrosh used the taunt just didn't allow them to get the Void Prison set up. Zeratul died too quickly. They're trying to get some value in the middle of the map, but I mean, look what we're seeing on the map now. We have still a 5 versus 5. All the forts are still in play. The keep at the bot lane nearly eliminated, and now we're fighting over a potential curse. Witness, double checking the bushes as much as he can. If they send at any point Zeratul topside, they can with 1 hit get the keep, but they're trying to make the play for Valamax again. He gets the heal, he's a little bit low, and they're turning it around. This is going to be the important one, Sweden. If Sweden wins this one, they have a curse and they have momentum. And they're going to try. They're going to try and move for it right now. At this point in time, this fight is all that matters. Top lane, soon gonna fall though. Keep those catapults in mind. The keep is gonna fall, 100%. 100%. They're gonna try and make the play now to win the game through a curse. Get the curse, go through the lanes, maybe grab a boss if it's up in time, and try and play around that. Sweden has made insane plays yesterday against Russia. Can they today make the same happen against Ukraine? Again, Valamax going for handling, a bit of stun, a bit of poke coming through. Denato is there, Void Prison, they want the setup. They're looking for it. And of course, Sweden is splitting right now. They're trying to not stack so that the Void Prison is not going to give value. But already the front line in trouble. Here comes the arrow. Oh, bad release on the Void Prison this time. Couldn't get it out sooner. Garrosh is still dead, and so is Genji. But they get the kill against Zeratul. Is that going to be enough? That's the big question. Arthas trying to run them down right now, but he's focused and his army is about to be gone.
He gets healed once again by Henning, but the kill against Arthurs is securing the triple kill. They're trying to go straight for Jimmy, and Jimmy is gonna fall. Denardo locking him down. It's a team wipe. They all are eliminated. The tribute is channeled, and with level 20 talents in their hands, we are seeing Ukraine moving towards the top. They go into the middle, they take the wave down. The keep is gonna fall to the catapults, and the core is already under attack. Ukraine, they won game 5, and it looks like they are going to get game number 5. Fantastic play by them on Sky Temple, on also Cursed Hollow. When it mattered, they were there. When it mattered, they won the fights, and they are taking the victory and force the final map out of Sweden in this third place decider.
The series is tight, everybody. Game number 5 is coming up as Sweden faces off against Ukraine. And Ukraine, they have a lot of momentum going at this point. I mean, we're talking about Sweden having a 2-0 lead, looking like they would win this, maybe even with a 3-0. And all of a sudden, Ukraine said, like, wait a second, we have to win 3 games in order to win the series? All right, thanks for letting us know. I guess we need to try hard now. So all of a sudden, they're playing combos, and I would be shocked to not see Zeratul banned. And he gets banned. No more Wombo for you. Now the Ukrainians to show that they have a little bit more set up. And we're talking about our Hanzo bans once more. Sorry, the Hanzo pick more so. This is a great map for Hanzo. Dignitas in HGC last year had still picked Hanzo oftentimes as a first pick priority. And now the question is Sweden going to ban it out? Are they going to ban Maiev? They ban Maiev. And now the adjustment, Ukraine, what are you going to do? Are they going to pick Hanzo away? Or do they allow Sweden to play Hanzo again? Is Van Groda going to get it? Yes. They prioritize Toranda over Hanzo for now. Sweden, for them, I don't think they're going to prioritize the Rhaegar pick as much as they did in the past. They don't really have to, because there's other great heroes that they can play here if they even want to play Rhaegar, but obviously the Lightning Shield helps them oftentimes to secure the shrine. They're one of the few teams that really loves to play Rhaegar. Henning seems to enjoy the hero a lot, but there's Hanzo, and as expected, no support pick on the first rotation. Instead, Diablo is chosen. So now they have Hanzo Arrow into Apocalypse if they want it, or they can simply try and get the shrine with the Lightning Breath. The immediate Garrosh pick on the other side. And Jaina finally getting through the draft for them too. So now that we have more target bans from both teams, you can see that a lot of these meta bans are available. Normally we have heavy focus on Garrosh and Diablo bans. We're seeing a lot of Tyrande even banned out. Jaina was banned on the 3rd position in the previous 2 games to deny some of that wombo potential that Sweden was trying to avoid. But here's the ban against Arthas. That's an interesting one because it already tells us that Sweden doesn't want to play Arthas themselves. And the question remains, what's going to be their solo laner then? Are they going to go into Leoric, or will they leave that up for Ukraine? Ukraine played that a lot when they got the opportunity. Ban pattern on the other side. Junkrat is a pick that Sweden went for over and over again. I could see a Junkrat ban. Yep. Nicely done. Really homing in on that. That leaves Genji open, of course. And there's Rhaegar. Rhaegar and Leoric both being picked. Lightning Shield on the shrine, the Ancestral Healing. We have Leoric also for the wave clear. Arthur's taken out on the 3rd ban. And Ukraine is going to finalize their own draft at this point. And we are still lacking a solo laner. Malthael becomes an option when you have something as hit point heavy as Diablo in the lineup. Gets a lot of value out of last rites. So he might be something to be played. But Garrosh would probably love to have a little bit more assistance in terms of tankiness at the front. Greymane and Yrel. I like it. Yrel, definitely a good choice for them right now. But let's bring us to the last pick. The stage is set, ladies and gentlemen. We are looking at another damage dealer. Could be Genji, if they want to go for the double Shimada brothers. I mean, there is also Gul'dan. We have seen a lack of Gul'dan in a lot of these games. The Horrify can just rip any combo apart. But that doesn't seem to be Sweden style. Ah, they go for it. Okay, cool. I was missing that bad boy a bit. So now we have Gul'dan in play, and this is our setup for the final map in the best of 5 series. So without further ado, let's jump in straight away and see which team is going to take the victory in the 3rd place decider at the Nexus contest. The last game of the series takes place on Infernal Shrines. Sweden against Ukraine. The best of 5 en route, with Sweden now on the left side of the map in blue once again. Henning on Rhaegar. Svamkrota is back on his Hanzo. We have Timeless on Leoric with Berghold on Diablo, going into the Spell Shield on level 1. And Gia on Gul'dan. We will get some Horrifies in this game. So a lot of the responsibility against hinges on him. Ukraine with Witness on Greymane, Shamzik on Tyrande, Denado on Garrosh. Candlelight is playing Urel, and Valamax is playing Jaina. Ready and good to go for game number 5. Who's going to decide the series? We have a lot of momentum for Ukraine. The Pain Train has launched on Sky Temple, and so far it hasn't stopped yet. Sweden has been pummeled in game 3 and 4. But also, it heavily centered around the entire setup with the wombo combo that Ukraine just executed over and over again. Zeratul with the Void Prison setup, and then stun follow-ups, either through the arrow of Hanzo or through Apocalypse. And this time, Hanzo arrow is again in the hands of the Swedes. And on top of that, we're also having Diablo now, and Zeratul banned out. So that changes the whole dynamic quite significantly. But this entire series has been reduced to a best of 1 pretty much. So let's see who's going to be able to decide it in their favor before we head into the grand final between Russia and France. Urel obviously going to be a great pick here too. I mean, there's not really a lot of hard CC on the side of... well, there's some on the side of Sweden, but a lot of it hinges really on heroic abilities. So in terms of crowd control spells, one that 16 is in their hands. Rhaegar, of course, going to have the Earthgrass Totem, which is going to help him a lot too. We're going to see Horrify come in, maybe Apocalypse. Diablo is the main CC target here. And we have also at the same time with Hanzo the option to throw the arrow out. So there's definitely some of those stuff out, but a lot of it hinges on heroic cooldowns and on late game talents. Whereas when you're looking towards the opponent, there's still Tyrande with a stun. There is also the taunt of Garrosh and his flip on Breaker. He's going to try and play around those interrupts and trying to create some space for himself here. The push in the middle, as both of the teams are getting their first few camps in. We're still waiting. I mean, the rotations here shouldn't really yield kills. The teams have both played extremely careful throughout the last few maps and did a fantastic job just playing it safe at the beginning. We had a couple of brawls that led to kills, but especially on this map, it looks more and more like they're willing to just like rotate around each other or not focus anything too hard and wait for the shrine itself to activate, which is going to be the case any second now. But we're having both of them going in for the Shaman camps, and Diablo is anchoring that play a bit, as vision is lost on both sides. They're very much so in the know what exactly the opponent is doing. The build that we have from Greymane is a bit different here, with the Inner Beast focus on Viciousness and going straight into the Insatiable. Now we have seen different builds being played by the Greymanes in this tournament so far, even a bit of a cocktail attempt at times, but especially the invisibility on level 4 has still been highly prioritized by a lot of the Greymane players to get out of harm's way whenever they get focused. Not so here though. We have Urel jumping in for the extra armor. This is going to be great for Greymane as well once he starts making the engage. And Hanzo with the explosive arrows now on level 4, trying to get that AoE out. The shrine is active, and we have a trap for Gul'dan at the bottom, but we are seeing Garrosh starting to rotate into the fight instead, as he realizes that Gul'dan is A, taking the safe way, but B, also being pretty late to the party. Here comes the attempt to go. Not quite. Oh, the burn against Timeless, and they actually keep him alive. Unbelievable. Drain Hope, heals from the healing ward, and Rhaegar keep Leoric in play. A good isolation, a lot of cooldowns burned onto him, but Ukraine can't get the kill. And now they're going in again. They're going for Diablo, but he pushes out immediately, dodges the stun, gets body blocked, and the Blizzard doesn't hit either. In comes Gul'dan, and he has the damage. They go for the double kill. Urel and Greymane both down. Great setup here from Gia, gets the corruption through, and that drops everybody to low HP, and the rest of the team follows up with the final blows. 2 down, level 7 in the hands of Sweden, and they go with the first Punisher straight into the middle now. They have 12 stacks on Gul'dan, and once the Diego corruption completed, it's going to be great for them. No bait over the wall. That's a bit of a disaster, because top lane was pressured by the camp, the rotation happened, and the defense in the mid lane is way too late, and that is very likely going to be the first fort of the game. There was no one there.
There was no one. Oh, and they get another kill against Garrosh. Damn! Sweden again fighting hard here. But look at this, the entire fort obliterated in the middle. Not a second wasted. There was no one in the middle to bait the Punisher over the wall, and therefore there was no extra damage. They couldn't burn it down quickly enough, and that's an entire level lead for Sweden just after the first Punisher. And let's not forget, with the fort down, that means extra experience. Passive experience now increased for Sweden. After level 10 abilities came into play, we've seen over and over again how dangerous Ukraine can be, and they still have a nice setup here where around the taunt in particular, they can burn a target down. So there's a lot of kill opportunities for Ukraine later on in the game, or at least there should be. But the beginning of this, again, in the hands of the Swedes. They are doing work here. Candlelight now moving up to the top, trying to get a little bit of work done, and in an ideal world, delivering the blows against the minion wave, and then also delaying maybe over here a rotation by the Swedish team to catch the experience. Leoric is already on the way, but, well, with Wraith Walk, it's pretty hard to stop him. Well, fun! Again! The move in as they're trying to draw back Cold, and Diablo is saying, what the hell is happening here? Leave me out of this. I don't want to be part of this. So he moves away from the fight, but that was another good setup from Garrosh, this time without any consequence, though. Rhaegar, of course, with Cleanse now in level 7 can really help whenever that combo comes through. Super important for him. Yeah, bottom of the map now. Protected, or an attempt to protect it, because there's a heavy push coming in from Sweden. They are playing really well around the level 10 abilities that they already have here. Great job by them. Level 10 and immediate aggression. You're level 10, you move in, and you're trying to just land that Entomb if Leoric can join you, and if not, you're looking for the arrow. And of course the Horrify. Let's not forget that Horrify is in this game an option, and that Gul'dan can destroy everything. They're already looking for that setup. Not finding anything here. Fountain about to go down, and guess where the next shrine spawns? Exactly, you guessed it. In the bot lane. Here comes Leo, and they go for Jaina. And she gets hit by the arrow. Burn Denado to a crisp. But they're focusing different targets. They still get Garrosh though. And that means we have another one obliterated down to the bottom of the map. Another fort potentially taken out after the hero dies. And passive experience is going to increase. Now again, you can already tell in the experience tab here that there's a small difference with only 700 experience points. But as now a second fort has been eliminated, this is going to start Oh, sorry, I'm actually wrong. The second fort is still there. But you can see what already happens with a single fort. So if they can take more structures down, that process is just going to continue even more. They take the camp topside. One has already been claimed, and with them now taking this one later, it means that if it moves through, this one should be defeated by the turrets, by the camp, and the incoming waves, and then push against the fort at the top of the map. And down here, they can now start a fight once again. This lead is in the hands of the Ukraine, and they get the better position too. But here comes the flip against Diablo, and he barely gets out, and in comes the Ancestral Healing. The Ring of Frost already hitting, and it's hitting hard. And there's the Entomb again against Urel. She pops the ult. Denado is low though. They're trying to hit the arrow, and they get that in. The arrow connects, but Denado is still alive, and the triple stun is hitting Sweden as the Blizzard comes down from Jaina. Ukraine moving back and keeping everyone alive somehow. But they are now losing... Well, Ukraine is losing the shrine. 30 against 13. Too late to fight. Top lane under pressure. Have to deal with this one too. And the Ukraine is losing ground. They were trying to go for the quick kills. They couldn't make it happen. Urel was trying. I mean, she did a great job really pushing the opponent back, and she also survived after taking the ult here when she was focused. But of course with Jaina in the back trying to get the Ring of Frost damage through, they couldn't get that lockdown. It was great play from Henning 2 on the support. The cleanse in time, getting the Ancestral Healing into as well against Diablo. And that was just really well executed, with now another Punisher pushing. And Ukraine setting it up, baiting it over the wall, trying to burn it down as quickly as he can. But Leoric has his Entomb back up. And the arrow on Hanzo is going to be back in a couple of seconds too. So that's another big advantage. They're also looking at level 13 talents any second. Arrow is now back up, and Entomb, is it going to hit? They go for the keep, and all that damage from Gia in particular is just a problem. He's on 23 stacks. The Entomb comes in, but doesn't connect. They're still trying to get the key, but they need to poke with Gul'dan if they really are trying to get it now. Level 13 talents. Here comes the arrow. Nice Horrify setup. And Greymane is dead. Beautiful setup. The Hanzo arrow into the perfectly timed Horrify, pushing him in. He's down, and they will siege up the bot lane to get the first keep of the game. 2 forts are already eliminated. The passive experience increase is going to give them a bigger and bigger lead as the game continues, and with them now also obliterating the keep at the bot lane, it means that we will see continuous catapults pushing through the bottom of the map. Great setup from Sweden. Ukraine struggling, not finding a single kill in the game yet. 5 kills against 0. And passive experience, as you can tell, already in favor of Sweden by 2,000. And more to come, obviously. The fight's very explosive around the shrines. But Ukraine, they can't find the kills. And their entire setup is basically designed to get kills. They want to get the taunt in. They want to get a flip, a taunt, the curse bullet, and the setup through Jaina with a Ring of Frost and Blizzard to eliminate the target. And let's not forget about the Toronto follow-up. Hunter's Mark on the target, whichever is called, plus the stun. But Sweden has evaded all of it. They've always interrupted those combos with either a Horrify attempt, with a stun through Hanzo, Diablo making the moves there. And it's tough for Ukraine to set something up, but they've shown now several times in the previous games that they can. You give them a chance and they'll be there. So the question just simply is, will Sweden be able to avoid it this time, or will Ukraine fight their way back into game number 5? Top lane is being focused now. We have 2... Let me double check that. Yeah, we have level 13 talents for both teams now. And again, owl after owl is coming through and trying to find out where the opponent is. It's all about camps, it's about trying to engage, it's about the next objective. And Sweden is playing this a bit more passive now, and the reason is pretty evident. Pretty self-evident. They are close on 16. They know that if they just play this slow, play this a bit safe, wait for the experience, don't force anything, there's a good chance that they will have a 16 talent advantage over the next objective. And Ukraine, they know it too. So they are trying to fight. They're trying to see, can we maybe invade something here? But of course they don't want to be too greedy. You want to fight, but you don't want to funnel into a choke point like this one. If you do that, you already know you're going to be in a massive amount of trouble because of all the abilities that can hit you hard here. They again delay the camp slightly. Camp has already taken on the other side, so with Urel pushing the wave out, the defense is going to be easy again. But here comes the move straight for the shrine. And look at experience. They burn another wave down in the middle, and they're getting closer and closer to level 16 talents. Timeless is not willing to fight for it just yet. He's saying like, boys, I got the top lane. I got this. I got this. Like, give me a second. I'll be there. And until that happens, they're just going to poke from the outside and not making a massive engage. So now 16 is ready, and that is the starting point. Let's go, baby. And they go for Denardo, and God, with a Horrify, he's dead. The Ring of Frost fails and doesn't hit anything. Sweden goes in. They got the first kill already. They have the numeric advantage. They have the talent advantage. They go for Urel. She pops the ult, tries to move out. Witness is low on Greymane. The stun, yes, it connects with Leoric, but there's not enough damage as a follow-up. And they drop another Punisher into their hands. A great setup from Sweden. This game, they play extremely well, at least to this point, but the game isn't over. Ukraine, they are a bit the comeback specialists in this series. They've done extremely well in game 3 and 4, but now they don't have that wombo combo. They have a kill combo that sent us around Garrosh, but Denardo has a tough time staying alive at the front line against all the poke that is hitting him hard whenever he shows his face. Now we have a move to the bottom of the map even. They're looking for more kills. And Vala gets thrown back by Denardo. Great save by Garrosh, but now he himself in trouble. And so much damage coming from Gul'dan in particular. The Orc hate against hate here. Denardo still survives, but boy, that hurt. He got bodied in the last one there. Garrosh is just a punching ball at this point in time. And with the Arcane Punisher, those sentries are of course going to do a number on anybody that stays too close. Again, the move straight into the middle. The arrow gets dodged. They sniff it out, but the keep still falls. 2 lanes now that are pushing. And Ukraine with a back to the wall. 2 lanes have been eliminated, and while they are dealing with the catapults here in the middle, we have the rotation of Sweden topside. Still no 16. They still don't have level 16 talents. The Ukrainian players are in so much trouble now. And of course, once again, we're having the focus onto the structures, and if another fort falls... I mean, let's take a look at passive experience again. Passive experience at this point, nearly a 5,000, 6,000 point difference between the two teams. And obviously you need more experience for an additional level as we're getting into the later stages of the game and reach higher levels here. But still, this is starting to become a huge problem. Well, it's not really starting to become a huge problem. It was a huge problem for the last few minutes already. But now with 16 talents in play for Ukraine, they're again trying to force a fight here. Trying to trap them, trying to set something up that allows them to finally get that first kill. And to be honest, if they do, I mean, if that Ring of Frost lands after a good taunt against 2-3 people, then they might be able to turn this around. The one thing that is really important to note here as well is that Sweden is just doing really well to control Garrosh. They're doing fantastic around that. They have a lot of CC that they can stack. The Horrify alone is already a huge asset. And as long as Garrosh doesn't go in and get either a flip or a good taunt against 2-3 people, Sweden is pretty much safe. So they are always splitting their team whenever these fights start, and it works wonders for them. So with that being said, we have another shrine starting soon at the top, but still the fight potential even before it. Owl after owl is being sent cross map here. Vala in the middle, Jaina in the middle right now, trying to do her thing. There's again the setup. Oh, and Garrosh, the taunt. Maybe now the kill. Ring of Frost, and it hits. But Inado is about to fall. Gul'dan, on the other hand, he's low and he goes down. But so does Greymane. 1 kill. They get 2 maybe. Yes, Gul'dan is dead. And so is Jaina. It's a triple kill and they go for the quad kill. Candlelight is on the run, trying to create some space. Diablo on the mount, trying to get in here. And he's able to pull that off. Candlelight goes down, and the core is wide open. They get the 5-man team wipe, and with that, the fate of Ukraine is sealed in game number 5. Sweden, after losing 2 games in a row, are able to take the victory on Infernal Shrines. They take the 3rd place in the Nexus contest. Sweden successful against Ukraine. A great effort from the Ukrainian team, but Sweden, at the end of the day, still a bit too strong. GG, well played. And congratulations.